Oh yes. Yes. Hi. Good start. I am TomatoGhost. Why am I called that? Well, my name's Tom, and nothing else fit really. And I'm here to look at some games. Yeah, okay, you don't want another one. I get that, but I've already made the video, so we're just gonna have to make do. Now this may shock quite a few people, but people born in 1995, they're 20 this year. Which means that we're now competent enough. Well, I say competent enough, but I mean even my equipment's not competent enough. I mean, oh my god, the quality is gonna and just oh well, first video. We're good. We're at least experienced enough now to tell you why our generation was good. And for me, it's all about the GameCube. Except it's not all about the GameCube. I will probably be talking more than just the GameCube, but it's a start. But, you know, playing Red Dead Redemption then put me in kind of a sadistic mood. So let's find a game that we can just cause massive mayhem. Okay, I don't know how I did that, but now I'm really concerned. Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Brawl. Melee. Close enough. I can say one thing about this game's intro, and that is that it reminds me an awful lot of another GameCube game's intro. Well, you know, I say that, but it's most likely not a good idea to bring this game up in light of this. So yeah, basically, Godzilla monsters do the thing. And I bet you're wondering, does it have a story? Yes, it does. Kind of. Basically, the plot is that aliens, like literally aliens, have come to Earth and, well, they basically want to
seize control of your planet and plunder its resources for our own purposes.
Sure, they're evil and trying to destroy all of the human race, but he sounds sincere.
It's what we do.
Adorable. You see, I can't fault him for this. It's literally what he says. It's what they do. But there's one catch.
We have seized control of your Monster Island facility and have unleashed all monsters under our mind control rays. Monster attack on your major population centers is imminent. Not even your strongest monster can break free of our control and defeat the others. Yeah, I was just making bets. I think we're good. Am I still on? Oh. Well, we now return you to whatever it was you were doing. Idiots.
Adorable. Already I can recommend this to Godzilla fans because, well, there's plenty of monsters to pick from and I'm sure they recognise them. I mean, I only recognise a few. I've only really watched the Western ones. I mean, after all, I only watched the most esteemed films. You know, like the new one that had, you know, Heisenberg running around saying,
I am the one who knocks!
I don't know what to say. I mean, it's better than...
That's a lot of fish.
Well, you know what they say, 2 heads are better than 1, so 3 must be better than 2. Voice of an angel. What we have here is a fighting game between titanic monsters. And a pretty damn good one at that. The controls are pretty simple. A punches, B kicks, L ducks and runs, R jumps, and if you're Rodan or King Ghidorah, even flies. And Z is for lasers. Yeah, like I said, simple. As one might expect, the aim of the game is to lower the enemy's health and knock them out. When you do, a helpful man on the radio reiterates that fact. I can tell you it's one hell of an esteem boost. Doing so allows you to move on to the next level where you fight another monster. And then when you knock out that monster, you fight another monster. And another.
and another.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Sure, at first it's not so bad, it's just like any other fighting game, just a different opponent, a different arena. But when you play it through with most characters again and again, it does start to wear a bit thin. To make things more interesting, you can collect power-ups. Specifically, which lets you unleash a devastating attack and is so satisfying when you make a hit. It can especially help you out in a tight spot. Go get him! Oh, that's catharsis. Other power-ups include gaining back power for your meter that determines how much laser you have left, and also health boosts so that the game doesn't seem too unfair. Also, if you're lucky, you will be able to summon Mothra to perform an assist move. When an item shows up, it can be a mad race to get it. It helps give each player an equal chance of victory. Or you can just do what I did and hide at the back, throwing trains at them. However, you will eventually reach the final monster. But first, a message from my favorite alien.
Oh, there he is.
Your monster has proven to be a worthy adversary,
You look beautiful today, by the way.
but it is of no consequence. We are now prepared to unleash our ultimate monster. But first, permit me to offer a little demonstration of its awesome power.
He used the A word.
Engage teleportation beam. And now we will see who is king of the monsters.
Wouldn't he be amazing in F-Zero?
It's time for the final showdown against Mecha Godzilla. The Mothership Arena allows for much more interesting combat because you can change the size of it. The green aura around the areas act as a force field that knocks monsters back when they come in contact with it. With enough damage to the barrier, it'll come down and allow you to access the rest of the ship. You know, this final showdown in this franchise fighting game against the robotic duplicate of the main character reminds me of another game. Okay, I'll stop with the Sonic comparisons. It's just, I'm a fan. Well, I was. After quite an intense battle, you will eventually defeat Mecha Godzilla. And now it's time to say our farewells.
Your monster has defeated our ultimate weapon and escaped. Our campaign to seize your planet has been thwarted.
Made the right call.
But we will return, Earthlings. We will return.
And I'll be there to greet you. With some flowers and a warm embrace. So that was Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Project M. And you know what? It's still a satisfying beat 'em up. It's got a good variety of monsters to please Godzilla fans. It's got simple controls so that anyone can jump in and play. I'm sure you can find it cheap nowadays, and it's definitely worth a look. Its biggest flaw is that it can be a tad repetitive because you have to basically do the same thing over and over again with different monsters, and there's not much outside of what I just showed you. See, most fighting games, they have different modes, things to collect, and this one doesn't really. Just that and a multiplayer version of that. And the whole thing with aliens invading and monsters defending Earth, you know, makes for a fun game. Not so much a movie. So yeah, first review done. How was it? Lame, annoying, forced jokes and annoying voices? Shit. Okay, time to play some video games. The hell? Samba de Amigo. Like some kind of fever dream. Saving that for later. Hey! Saints Row 2. One of my favourite games. Not so much this. You'll get yours someday. I promise that. Now there we go, another one of my favourite games. Sonic Adventure DX. No. Okay, why is that even not... That's just on the floor. Why? That's not even on... Okay. But yeah. Super Monkey Ball.
Let me scratch this off. Okay, there we go. Almost, okay.
Super Monkey Ball. Yeah, alright.
Damn it! Oh god! Fuck! No! Okay, got this. No!
Oh yeah. This game.
Super Monkey Ball is exactly what it says on the tin. There are monkeys in balls, and it's super.
Did I really just say that?
It was created by a company named AV and published by Sega in 2001. Actually, Ai, the main monkey from this game, would go on to be a big name in Sega's mascot lineup, and is featured in the likes of Sonic Riders and Sega All-Stars Racing. Things were going well until, on the way to the studio to make another game, Ai got in a car crash, and his face had to be completely reconstructed. Things were never the same. He could never go back to the way things were. The aim of the game is to roll your monkey ball to the end goal and keep moving from floor to floor until you make it all the way to the end. Sounds easy, right?
No. No.
The twist is that you don't control the monkey itself. You actually tilt the stage around it. Just to be safe, it's probably a good idea to start with beginner, but I'm sure if we're good enough, we can reach expert level someday. Maybe. Probably not. The main collectibles that you gather on your quest are bananas.
Oh, banana!
Bananas boost your overall score, but it's 2015 dagnammit, so let's forget them and...
Let's get moving!
Already on the second floor, and we can already skip through some levels. If we can make it.
First try.
Poor Ai drills into the ceiling when he wins here. Well, now we've cheated our way into a bonus level that appears every 5 floors. It's pretty simple, as all you have to do is collect all the bananas. Not that much of a hassle, really. After every bonus level, the backgrounds and aesthetics change, as you can see, since we're now in a temple canyon type place. It's at this point that things start getting a bit tricky, but eventually you'll pass all 10 levels on beginner and be done.
That's it. For beginner.
But before we move on though, let's take a look at the credits in order to give thanks to those who put effort into this game. Ah, fuck, I hate you, I hate every single one of you!
I never thought I'd be beaten up by words. I'm onto you.
Now let's ramp up the difficulty and go on to Advanced, where we face 30 floors. Also, let's pick someone else. How about Baby? Because nothing is better than throwing an infant into a ball and rolling them around treacherous plains where they could easily die from falling or being pulverized in the fucking plastic ball.
I'm probably thinking about this too deeply, aren't I?
Well, Advanced certainly lives up to the name, I suppose, as existing levels we faced in beginner now have more obstacles to put up with. Luckily it has the same shortcuts. Okay, now Baby just shot off into some other direction. Well, at least the bonus levels are the same. And now we reach a new terrain based on some kind of monkey nightclub. I wonder how to get in because I would sure love to party with them. I'm into that kind of music.
Beefcake! Donkey Kong! Beefcake! Donkey Kong is here!
At this point, all you have to do is prevail as the game gets harder and harder. I must say, one of the best things this game has is the difficulty curve. The game doesn't suddenly get harder out of nowhere. Instead, you feel like the game is slowly getting more and more difficult with each passing level. It's fair.
I said fair. That's better.
Now, when it comes to shortcuts, there are technically 2 types. One involves you finding alternate goals that let you skip a number of floors. The other sees you getting to the main goal quicker through the use of daredevil stunts and maneuvers. Let's give them a go.
Nope.
And out of frustration, I'm calling myself Fub. Ah, screw it. Let's just go on expert mode. And yes, II again, because why bother changing things now? We're experts, remember? Floor 1 was as easy as before.
This is gonna be a piece of cake. Wait a second.
Only at floor 2 and we have a shortcut gate, but the path sure looks difficult. I regret everything! Let's just play it safe for now and move on.
Oh no. Oh god, no. Oh please god, no.
Floor 3 is when you realise that expert means expert. In an instant, you already realise that the platform featuring either goal doesn't stop. That means you have time to roll perfectly, or else you're going down. Eventually, the stars will align and you manage to hit the goal. It's a damn good feeling. That is sadly short-lived since floor 4 is even harder. Well, harder is a bit of a strong word. Maybe tedious is a better word? While the whole of floor 3 is a challenge, only the last stretch of floor 4 is hard as it requires perfect balancing skills. As a result, every time you fall, you'll have to trot your way through the rest of it over and over again. And since obstacles include the likes of moving platforms, it can be boring. Does it live up to the expert title? Yes, but only because of this nightmare. So I progressed some more into expert mode, but
I gave up.
So on that note, let's take it easier and check out the mini-games. Super Monkey Ball features a number of mini-games to play with your friends, which reminds me, you can play through the main game with friends to compete for high scores. So first we have Monkey Fight. All you have to do is use a boxing glove and punch the other competitors out of the ring. Here's the big complaint about Monkey Fight. Ice physics. For some reason I'm always slipping and sliding all over the place. It's made even worse when one map is literally ice.
That's not fair.
The other level is a spaceship for some reason. I will say it is disconcerting when two people win. Where are you guys going? Can I come?
Monkey race!
It's exactly what you'd expect. A number of monkeys within balls run around an area for a number of laps. Well, I mean, after clearing expert mode, I think I'm good enough to handle the hardest level.
Nothing could go wrong here.
Actually, yeah, nothing can really. Playing Monkey Race with computers is stupidly easy. They don't put up much of a challenge, and I felt like I was just doing time trial. Yeah, nothing much here except play with friends. Being easy the best of minigames, Monkey Target requires you to launch your monkey off a ramp, and suddenly, the ball opens up and now the monkey glides.
Flying monkeys. I'll believe that when pigs fly.
When in the air, you have to guide your monkey towards a landing pad and land. You see, every round, statistics change such as wind speed and direction, as well as being forced to spin the Wheel of Doom. That can add obstacles such as mist and bombs.
You'd think with all that criteria that once you get past the obstacles, it's plain sailing. You'd be wrong.
Do you know what the hardest part of Monkey Target is? Landing. When coming in, you have to take into account that your ball will bounce, meaning that more often than not, you're going into the deep, deep, deep ocean. It's tragic to see Ai sink into the sea, trapped in a ball, waiting for the sweet relief of death.
So everything's set up. Let's do this.
I did it! I did it! I won! It's so good to win! Especially since no one else was playing!
So that's Super Monkey Ball. It's a fun little game that you can just pick up and play very easily at any time you feel like it. The visuals are fun and vibrant, the music's funky, and the unique playstyle makes the game stand out among other weird monkey-based games made by Sega, which there are quite a few of. So yeah, that's the end of the video. See you guys later. Hold it! Except that it's not. I just realised. There's a master mode. And since I'm the guy who bailed on expert mode because it was too difficult and I couldn't handle it, I'm obviously the guy to try master mode. But I couldn't unlock it. Cheaters always prosper, kids. Don't let anyone tell you different.
There we go. Master mode. Let's do this. Damn! Oh, god damn it. Oh, come on! Oh god, here it comes! Oh no! It won't stop moving. No, please! Oh god, why is it moving? Why is it moving? Oh, please. Oh god, oh please, 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 please. Oh, hey, I should beat that one. Tiny steps! The last one, come on, I face. No!
Okay, that's it. I'm done. The video's really over now. See ya! Sonic the Hedgehog is normally a character who goes really fast, so here's a game where Sonic the Hedgehog doesn't run really fast.
I used to love the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. It was my favourite game series growing up, with some great games such as Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, the original trilogy, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Generations, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Color, Sonic Rush. That's about it for the good ones. But let me take you back to 2005 through the eyes of a young Sonic fan. I hear about this new Sonic racing game coming out that, unlike previous attempts, actually looks really fast paced and energetic. I mean, who's that guy? Is that Bean? Is that Speedy? Anyone remember him? Did anyone play that one? No? Well, I'm sure this guy's just as cool.
Huh.
At any rate, I was still excited, and then came the day in 2006, after my weekly judo session.
What the hell was I thinking?
I got home to find Sonic Riders.
Now, I actually have some good memories with this game, but that was back when I was a biased Sonic fanboy, didn't know any better. So as a much more rational person now, comparatively, let's take an up-to-date, honest look at Sonic Riders. I gotta love the 15th anniversary logo on here. Just to remind you that Sonic's 15th anniversary consisted of this and this.
Now, what was that Sonic once said?
Hey, Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
To put it simply, Sonic Riders is a Sonic-based racing game just like Sonic R, but you know, without the...
Can you feel the sunshine?
Instead of running on foot though, Sonic Riders has the characters make use of hoverboards that they call Extreme Gear.
Extreme.
I'll admit the hoverboards make this a much more unique racing game, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Unique can mean anything from Shadow of the Colossus to Mr. Mosquito. In an effort to tie in the board mechanic, you can charge up the jump and perform tricks in the air. Just like being back in school, you are graded on your tricks. These range from X to C. Ecstasy.
So gameplay wise, it does set itself apart from other racing games, but this is a Sonic game we're dealing with, so let's look at the story.
Our story begins with Sonic, Tails and Knuckles chasing a signal.
Which I don't think is expanded upon ever again.
And right off the bat I can say that the GameCube FMV cutscenes, they look gorgeous. I mean sure, Sonic's proportions are off, like really off, but the lighting and models look pretty good. The gang is intercepted by a team of thieves, and so Sonic, being the fastest thing alive, gives chase, using a device he's never touched before instead of running.
You're supposed to be the fastest thing alive?
And so we move on to oh Jesus Christ! What happened to the graphics? You can't just follow up an FMV with this. Eggman's moustache is the most animated thing in this game.
I call it the X-World Grand Prix, a tournament to see who's the best of the best with extreme gear.
And so that's the plot. Eggman has set up the World Grand Prix.
X-World Grand Prix.
X? That sounds familiar.
Also, wouldn't they know better than to trust anyone that opens an event with an evil laugh? Or a Muppet laugh. So they fall for Eggman's ploy. And slowly but surely they encounter the thieves known as the Babylon Rogues. First we have Wave, as we're exposed to more playable characters. I should bring up the use of character types. There are 3 types: Speed, Flight and Power, all of which have access to different shortcuts based around their abilities. Also, this first race as Tails introduces us to Mario Party controls. You know the ones. The ones that make you plunge your palms into the joystick and grind it around while you scream in agony. And it's at this point I noticed just how weird the facial animations are. Also, Knuckles does this and it's really creepy.
Back, demon! Back!
Knuckles then encounters the muscle of the team, Storm.
The track then! We'll settle this there!
Looking forward to it.
Oh, there's something really unsettling about that shot. Ugh, stop!
But it's time for Sonic to meet up with the Rogue's leader, Jet, who, again, is totally not Bean or Speedy.
I've checked you out, actually. Not bad. I admit you're pretty fast on your feet.
Okay, so at this point I need to interject about Jet's voice. Yes, that is the voice of Sonic, Jason Griffith, but the voice itself is just such a bizarre choice.
Yeah, That's when I took over things for my father!
It sounds like what Gilbert Gottfried probably sounded like during puberty.
Father!
Well, this course isn't so bad. Oh my god, giant bugs, why the hell is no one alarmed by this? Also, this happened. I guess there are items in this game, but I barely noticed outside of this freak incident.
Now our race has reached its final stage.
That was fast even by Sonic standards.
The rules are still the same. Anything goes in this extreme race.
Even murder.
You know, when I started recording footage for this review, I thought I enjoyed this level, however... yeah. Then again, what did I expect from a course that uses its races as live arrows? And here we go! Almost won. And...
Well, that was sloppy. Okay, Eggman wasn't kidding.
with victory now his, Jet proceeds to use the Tesseract from the Avengers.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is Babylon Garden.
Hanging Gardens of Babylon?
Now I'll get the treasure of Babylon!
So the gang chased after him. Oh, for God's sake, Sega, I get that you love the FMVs, so do I, but when you keep cutting between them and in-game cutscenes, the change is really jarring.
It's like a mobility scooter.
You can't catch up with her! Get out of my way! Is that what you think? Take a look at this! I'll show you what true speed really is!
By not running, Sonic and Jet have their final race through Babylon Garden. It's actually a pretty fun course. Maybe because it's in the clouds, it makes for a nice variety and location with multiple paths to take depending on which character type you use. All except this bend. Yeah, let me just...
Even without wings, I can still fly! Right?
No!
After beating Jet, Sonic finally confronts Eggman, who holds Amy as hostage with the Tesseract. So what's the natural thing to do?
Can you catch the wind?
I can try. Got it! Got it, you son of a bitch! And that's the hero story. It ends with this.
How could you dive into Eggman knowing I was there?
Well, Amy, I thought it'd be okay with you, and
Sonic! Come back here! Ah!
That's you, game. This high up.
There is still much more though as we unlock the Babylon Rogue story. Actually, one of the things I've really missed from Sonic games is the different perspectives. It's nice to see what other characters are doing at different times. For example, in this very game, yeah, you know the beautiful FMV that started this game off? Yeah, that's the Rogue's first level. You see, I actually like that sort of thing. Speaking of which, their story opens with a rude awakening.
Hey, boss!
Oh god, Storm's face is terrifying. The Rogues are confronted by Eggman, who proposes that they collaborate in gathering the Chaos Emeralds. So, slowly but surely, we see the story pan out the same way as before, but with a few minor alterations, such as Amy racing Wave. Also, this happens.
I didn't edit that. That's actually in the game.
So we approach the final race from a different angle. This course does fare a bit better than the Heroes version though. There's less crashing and it's more straightforward. Granted, I could just suck, but let's not get into that.
Also, remember how the Babylon Garden rose in the hero's story? It was this grand and beautiful FMV cutscene.
A mysterious airborne object has just appeared above the site where the X-World Grand Prix is being held.
So while Sonic and Jet chase Eggman, everyone else is left to be chased by robots, led by the one that Storm beat up all the way back in the race's Knuckles. So with that in mind, I have to question why not coming first here is considered a bad thing, since we're all equally trying not to die. So unlike the hero story, we actually get to see the rogues open the door to the treasure after the race. They are stopped by the Guardian, who is basically a glorified genie. Which brings us to the final battle, where we play as Sonic.
Well, so much for picking the Babylon Rogues.
Being the only boss in the game, it's simple. Just boost into his lamp jar thingy-mabob 3 times and you're done. He looks way too happy to die.
Too awestruck by the treasure to notice me, eh?
Jesus, Eggman's packing heat! Go get him!
So we learn the treasure is a magic carpet. You better beat the carpet or else there'll be more dust collected than the Kinect.
Jesus.
Stolen, the 13th leader of the Babylon Rogues.
Stolen. His name was stolen. His name was stolen. Well, better go look for it then.
And here, right before your very eyes, you'll see the quickest mind change that I've ever witnessed.
Undoubtedly, this carpet will be in high demand from all around the world. But what's this? No way. I went to the trouble of holding the World Grand Prix for this? I can't believe I just wasted my time for this piece of junk.
One last FMV.
You may be fastest for now, but I'll be back, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'll be back with more sequels. One that's better, but one that'll totally suck balls.
And that's Sonic Riders. It's certainly silly, but as far as Sonic games go in the late 2000s, you could do far worse. And the hoverboards make it a much more unique racing game. The controls are fine, the music's okay, and you know what? I think the game makers knew it was silly as well. I mean, why else do we end up with a story that features an evil genie who's betrayed by an annoying squawking bird and an evil fat man with facial hair who all have it in for a cocky freerunner? Wait a minute. That's the plot of Return of Jafar. Yeah, the Guardian is Jafar, Jet's Iago with that voice, and Eggman's Abysmal, which leaves Sonic as Aladdin. And since you can even use a magic carpet in the desert... What the fuck?
The N64 was the first console I ever saw way back when my sister got one for her birthday, and instantly I was exposed to a whole world of excellent games. And with those games came excellent music, so we're here today to count down the top 10 of those things I just said. Keep in mind that this is my opinion, but part of the fun is hearing what you have to say. It's always good to learn about things that I'm not aware of or I'm just too oblivious to notice or realise. Also, we're keeping it to one song per franchise, or else we're just going to be bombarded with songs from this and this and this and this.
So let's do this.
Number 10! For some reason, when I thought up this list, this was the first song that popped into my head. This was the only game on this list that I didn't grow up with, but that doesn't mean I couldn't include music that was new to me. To be honest, I don't even know that much about this game. All I know is that the soundtrack is damn good. Green Garden has so much going on different levels of the track. You have the funky bass line, like a 64-bit Seinfeld. A catchy riff pulled off by the woodwind sound. and everything else in between. Of course I had to play the game in order to get footage, but I suppose that comes as a plus. I really enjoyed it, so I guess I'm recommending it. Please come back to us, Bomberman. I miss you.
Number 9.
The soundtrack to Pokemon Stadium took all the best songs from Pokemon Red and Blue and revamped them, not just to N64 quality, but by changing the pace and tone of them too. Naturally, I went with the remake of my favourite song from Red and Blue, which plays in the menu for free battle mode. This song originally played on certain routes, specifically 11 and 12, and always got me pumped up for the adventure ahead. I was way too young to play the original games when they first came out, but the version in the remakes is just as good. But we're not talking about that, so let's just, get the... Yeah, okay, get out of here. The Stadium version is much more fast-paced and energetic, which goes with the game well. In the main games, you've got a whole world to explore and Pokemons to catch. In Stadium though, it's just Pokemon fighting to the death. It fits it perfectly and it makes the simple task of picking 6 Pokemon much more epic.
Number 8.
Chasing Seanbean. Chasing Seanbean. Chasing Seanbean again. Chasing Seanbean again still. Chasing Seanbean again. Chasing Seanbean again. Chasing Seanbean again. Chasing Seanbean again. It was impossible. I had no choice but to include a track composed by the legendary Grant Kirkhope, easily my favourite game composer. GoldenEye was one of the many excellent games developed by Rare for the N64, and the soundtrack matches the quality of the game. If you disagree with this choice, chalk this one up to bias because of how much I love not only the game, but the film too. The fight scene between Bond and Trevelyan in the film is one of the best moments in the franchise. The song manages to match up with the map well too, as the build-up begins with Bond running across a narrow path with no sign of Trevelyan. It's only when the music hits the peak that you finally catch up to him. Also, let's not forget the great inclusion of the main James Bond theme!
Number 7.
Lilith Wars, or Star Fox 64 if you prefer, is a good game. Almost every level stays stuck in my head, and songs are featured in other Nintendo games since. However, there lies the problem. All the best songs from Lilac Wars have been done better. Star Wolf's theme, Corneria, even the theme song. There is, however, one piece of music that sticks out for me, and is actually quite a forgotten one. The menu music. The menu music in Star Fox 64 is actually kind of beautiful. It manages to capture and evoke so many different feelings within its simplicity, some feelings even contradicting. It's solemn and foreboding, yet when I hear it, all I can picture is a lone traveller slowly drifting through space, watching the wonders of the universe unfold around them. Space is a scary place, and for the first time booting this game up, you have no idea what you're going to face. But that's part of the fun. This song perfectly sets you up for the adventure ahead.
Number 6.
Can't think of anything to say, it's just a really cool song.
Number 5.
Diddy Kong Racing has easily the most consistently good soundtrack on the N64, with every track being as great as the last. Great examples include Spaceport Alpha, Jungle Falls, and Frosty Village. However, the way I went about picking the best is by choosing the one that the developers clearly thought was the best too, Dark Moon Caverns. This is the song they decided to use during the credits of the game, so it not only reminds me of a kick-ass course, but also beating the game. What's a better feeling than that? Diddy Kong Racing was one of the first games I ever saw, so maybe I'm just sentimental. But when me and my sisters finally unlocked the Future Funland stage, these tracks left an instant impression on us, and Dark Moon Caverns came along with its funky tune. David Wise did a wonderful job on the soundtrack, as well as the Donkey Kong Country series. I'm so glad he's on board to do part of the soundtrack for Yooka-Laylee along with Grant Kirkhope. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Number 4.
Once again, I have to bring up Grant Kirkhope. Every game he touches has a golden soundtrack. Easily his crowning achievement though is Banjo-Kazooie. You all know it, and it's basically a fact at this point that Banjo-Kazooie has one of the most diverse and memorable soundtracks. So which song did I go with? Well, I initially picked the final boss music because it matches the grand scope of the situation, but after chatting with some friends, I finally settled on
Freeze Easy Peak.
Thank you, Mr. Lovitz.
Buy my book.
John, shh!
Buy my book. Buy my
Freeze Easy Peak is the quintessential ice level, and in order to earn that title, it brings along a great melody that travels as the player does. As the player enters the level, the music already begins as it slowly builds up. Eventually, as you explore the world some more, it hits the peak. Peak. And all that can be said is...
Bring on the trumpets.
Number 3.
I noticed that all the songs on this list all capture a different feeling. Some get you pumped up for the adventure ahead, others capture the most awesome moment you just witnessed, but this one in particular is easily the most relaxing song on the N64. Jolly Roger Bay from Super Mario 64. Yeah, good title there, guys. The way the calming, serene music comes in as you get to freely explore water in 3D as Mario for the first time is beautiful. Before this, underwater segments in Mario games always seemed really frantic with the emphasis on not dying. In Mario 64 though, you can just go at your own pace and just let the music coupled with the atmosphere envelop and immerse you. That is until Mario drowns in a scarily realistic manner.
I'd lend you a mushroom, but the police told me not to do that anymore.
Number 2.
Just like Green Garden, Gerudo Valley has so much going on in the piece. You have the intense clapping, El Flamenco Guitar, and yet again,
Bring
Bang on the trumpets!
Like Wily's Castle from Mega Man 2, this is a song that I always hear when it comes to gaming. Possibly because people overuse it, but that's the thing. People overuse it for a reason. It stands out. Nowhere else in the game do you hear music like this, especially since Gerudo Valley is one of the more exciting places to go in Hyrule. I sure love it anyway. An exotic song that builds atmosphere while also being catchy. The best kind of song.
Number 1.
Now, number 1 speaks for itself. It doesn't really need an explanation from me. Granted, that could be because I'm too lazy, but I already pulled that stunt with Pokemon Snap. I'm just doing it again. Anyway, here's number 1. In...
Trumpets!
I can't whistle. What? 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 What's not to like about Inspector Gadget? He's both a detective and a cyborg. That and he's also a bumbling oaf, so he's got that going for him. The cartoon ran from 1983 to 1986, and the game we're looking at today, it came out in 2001. Inspector Gadget Advanced Mission isn't based on any kind of bizarre spin-off that came out around the time. This is purely based on the 80s cartoon. I can't blame them, I guess. The show was still on rerun since I managed to watch it when I was growing up. Let me just check out the Wikipedia page. Well, I know it exists. From the very second the game starts, the music punches you in the face. I mean, it's a catchy tune, but it sounds awful. The Game Boy Advance can do much better. Our story begins just like you'd expect from Inspector Gadget, with Chief Quimby giving Gadget his assignment. We are counting on your intellectual capacities and level-headedness. Gadget. Level-headedness.
Sorry, Chief, I didn't see you. There was a sheep in the way.
Now we enter the game with the simple objective of stopping Mad Magazine from taking over the world. Yeah, okay. We need your level-headedness to blow shit up! Presentation-wise, the game looks really nice. The character sprites are colourful and well animated, and they also managed to capture the look of the cartoon. Not quite sure why everything bounces though. Like, literally everything. Inspector Gadget Pocket Mission is a simple side-scrolling platformer with the simple objective of getting from point A to point B. Each world is split up into 2 or 3 levels, with every other world ending with a boss. Instead of just Gadget though, you can switch between 3 characters. These include Gadget's niece Penny and his pet dog Brain. Gadget jumps the highest and uses his gadgets to get around. Penny can swim and control robots, and Brain can double jump and dress up as a penguin. Now I do remember him donning disguises on the show, so I guess it makes sense, but only the one? Alright then. So what happens when you die? That is a very loaded question. Well, the game transitions all Banjo-Kazooie-like, and then we're presented with this. Okay, 2 things. 1. The line is go go Gadget blank. Just sounds wrong without the gadget. 2. The level music doesn't stop. It's just kind of off. After 2 levels in New York and a boss. Oh god, I'm sorry. We move on to the next level set in Paris and... Okay, the music is actually starting to grow on me. The contrast in the previous level's music and this one gives me hope that the music will improve. Probably not. And you'd figure Mad Magazine would want to hide their evil death machine somewhere a bit more inconspicuous. Well, they are mad, I suppose, so I can't really blame them. That and the way Gadget looks over the streets of Paris, it's like something out of an art house film. C'est beaucoup de poisson. It's at this point that my biggest complaint about the game arises. The level design is atrocious. You'd think it would just be as simple as just holding the right button, but here you have to go, which would be fine, you know, all great games have variety, but when there's no change to the aesthetics and everything else looks the same, it's very easy to get lost. A common trope in side-scrollers is to have collectibles that lead towards the end, however here they instead lead to secret areas. I mean, it's not exactly secret if the game is outright telling you where to go. Plus, this is the kind of game where collecting things isn't a necessity. It's just for points, so it doesn't really matter at all in the grand scheme of things. Lucky that this is France, where every collectible is baguettes and footballs. Okay, now the arrows point towards the exit. Alright, screw it, next level! It seems Dr. Claw's machine is on the Great Wall. Hurpy up?
Fucking hurry up! Hurry up!
I don't think that needs an explanation. Did no one check that? Okay, it worries me that the music is starting to grow on me. I don't know whether it is legitimately getting better or I'm slowly going insane. Probably the latter. Also, these guys still fall for Brain's disguise in China. Oh, of course, silly me. How could I forget about those Chinese penguins? Also, you may have noticed at this point that I'm barely using Penny. The reason behind this is that there's barely any water to explore in this game. Since New York, this is the only water I've found, and it's not even necessary for progression, just to boost your score. Time to fight the boss in China, which is a tree man. Oh, sorry. Cactus. Again, how could I forget about this Chinese cacti? Oh wait, there actually are Chinese cacti. Okay, now I'm learning things from this game. Is this what my life has led to? Let's just move on to the next level, which takes us to merry old England. Finally, something I can relate to. Oh wait, no! Ghosts on Big Ben. That and this level requires you to climb up and up, so if you dare fall off, you either fall into a pit or are sent back further than before. It's not fun. It's not fun! The final level takes us to Egypt, where we are once again attacked by human cacti. I do not like how that's become a thing. Even the Sphinx looks like it's recoiling in horror.
Not this shit again.
This is the final stretch of the game, which sees Gadget sliding down the pyramid, leading towards the final boss. You know, with all this build-up for Dr. Claw, I can't wait to finally kick his artichoke. You know, Claw, I really... You don't think you're him? It's just a guy. That's not Claw. There is no Claw. So after beating the final boss, the world is saved and Gadget, Penny and Brain can finally go on holiday. Well, it's time for the credit. Excuse me? Okay, here, have this pissy boss that isn't even Claw, you know, Gadget's arch enemy, an ending that consists of one still image and scrolling text, and then just back to the menu. That's it. No celebration, no sense of victory, just... So that's Inspector Gadget SP Mission. Despite its flaws, it's the kind of game that grows on me. It has very nice graphics that complement the cartoony style and are vibrant and colourful. The music sort of... You know, Paris is catchy and memorable, China's alright, but New York and England are kind of... there. It's about as good as you can get with a game based on Inspector Gadget. So, now I was going to end this with me dressed as Gadget, you know, and I might fly off and things, but I couldn't find a good fedora that I could afford except for those shitty hipster fucking trophy shits. Wait a minute. If Gadget himself is the cyborg, he doesn't even need a hat.
Go, Gadget, copter!
Let's play some shit. So Halloween is upon us, and being English, that means we do nothing except... However, since I now make videos, it gives me the excuse to make videos about scary games. Now, what are some of the creepiest predators you can think of? Scorpions, snakes, Billy Bob Thornton. Well, I can tell you that the scariest thing, for me, are spiders. Spiders! Spiders! And this brings us to deadly creatures. Remember when THQ was a thing? They were a game company who went under a few years back and helped bring to life franchises such as Saints Row and Red Faction. They also gave us great hits such as Drake and Josh on the Game Boy Advance. Or how about Daredevil? Based on the movie. Also for the Game Boy Advance. I would say that Deadly Creatures was developed by Rainbow Studios, but clicking on the Wikipedia link brings me right back to THQ. So... Deadly Creatures emerged exclusively for the Wii in 2009. That's all the background on the game I could find. So how scared am I? Well, you see that? Yeah, that right there. That's nightmare fuel.
I wish I was joking.
The game opens with the narration from Billy Bob Thornton.
George Struggs. The cops asked him what happened right before he slipped into that coma, and he kept mumbling something about deadly creatures.
And after being given some context, we dive right into the game. Okay, scorpions I can deal with, but it's the spiders that... Oh god! Deadly Creatures features two parallel storylines. I suppose the more important one follows two people played by the aforementioned Billy Bob Thornton and Dennis Hopper.
Monkey!
And their quest to find buried gold coins. The secondary plot focuses on an ongoing battle between a scorpion and a tarantula. For the sake of sparing us from repetition, let's call them... Scorpio and Tara. I don't fucking know. I'll admit, this plot is quite petty. I mean, they meet, they fight, and then spend the entire game chasing after each other. I mean, that's commendable. Scouring the whole desert for one another. Maybe it's a love story. Love story. I was half expecting this to be set up Sonic Adventure style, with the player picking between two stories that run parallel to each other. I was half right. The game is split into 10 chapters, and rather than outright picking who to follow, the game alternates between Scorpio and Tara every chapter. I said half right because the chapters are parallel.
I got a handle. I got it. Good God, there's a dead lizard down there. I got a handle. I got it. Good God, there's a dead lizard down there.
Deadly Creatures can be best summed up as a brawler game. You progress through levels, fighting through the horrors of the, I assume, American wilderness. Scorpio and Tara play very differently from each other. Tara is much faster, has less attacks, and can learn to grapple with webs, while Scorpio is slower but has a wide range of brawler moves as well as quick time event finishing moves. Tara still throws a mean spider bitch slap though. Also, the way she jumps is adorable. It might just be because of the sound effect.
Every time I go to Norway, I'm attacked by jumping spiders. Give me a break!
Speaking of sound effects, the game certainly has them. It somehow combines cartoony ones with realistic hisses and growls. You know, the thing that surprises me most about the game is that it's on the Wii. This is one of the most realistic looking games on the Wii anyway. The way the creatures move is uncanny. Even the way it just sits there. As an arachnophobe, that's exactly what I need. So where do the problems with the game lie? There are quite a few, regrettably. First and foremost are the aesthetics. On one hand, it gives the game atmosphere and makes it stand out. On the other hand, it makes all the levels blend together so nothing really stands out. Well, outside of a few select areas such as a thorn-covered tree or a petrol station. As a result, there were times where I was incredibly lost. It doesn't help that this is quite a dark game. Not just in tone, but like it is literally dark. There were times where I just couldn't see shit. Deadly Creatures also suffers from Budget Wii Game Syndrome, which basically means wiggle wham wham waggle. All of the special moves and finishing moves require you to shake the Wii remote and nunchuck. When used in moderation, I can live with that, but when all the moves except mashing A require it, it gets tiresome very quickly. Even worse are these QuickTime events. Just look at this scenario. So Tara has fallen into a Black Widow nest and has to break through 3 webs to escape. I'm already making enough bricks to build a small house, and now the game expects me to shake the Wii remote in the right way to break through, and it only takes one fuck up to be devoured by them. Did I mention I'm arachnophobic? At least with motion controls, I don't have to look at the screen to attack.
Is it gone yet?
One last problem is that, like a lot of 3D games sadly, the camera gets caught in all sorts of awkward locations. Getting this up close and personal with insects and arachnids makes my skin crawl already, so shoving the camera at them doesn't help matters. One example of this working against you is against a Godzilla monster. Rather than fight, you have to dig away, but the camera focuses on the boss, so it's hard to get your bearings at escape. Also, this game goes into first person mode when web shooting. First person. In this game.
Fuck that.
The thing is, you have to. Tara's main gimmick is the web grapple, and there are times that I might forget that and proceed to waste time finding a single web. I then feel like an idiot because it's right in front of me. I can't even blame the game for that. The webs glow. I'm just an idiot. On the flip side though, the game does have a good variety of enemies for you to brutally murder and then devour. There are lizards, mantises, mites, spiders, scorpions, tarantula hawks, and rats.
I am the Rat King! Who's even gonna get this reference?
As you progress through the game, the Hopper Thornton story continues as they finally track down the treasure.
How much you think's in here anyway?
Enough. Sorry, old buddy.
Wow. Dennis Hopper's an asshole.
What's more is that Hopper kidnaps Tara for his own deadly creature collection.
Oh, that's why it's called that.
As a result of poor planning and a bunch of domino-like coincidences, Tara manages to escape while unleashing all of the other creatures and then proceeds for a final showdown with a snake. Scorpio enters the scene with the proper final showdown, being the last chapter that makes it proper, against Dennis Hopper. I'm sure I'll look back fondly on this great final boss. Those timeless memories, dropping Bowser into lava, stabbing Ganon in the face, pinching Dennis Hopper in the balls.
I'll treasure that memory forever.
After attacking Hopper 3 times, resulting in him making some unsettling faces, we come to the game's ending.
And now, completely unedited or messed with, here is the ending to Deadly Creatures. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of sudden escalation.
Oh, where to begin? 1. He was on that snake in a fucking instant. 2. How the hell did Scorpio survive that? We see Tara escape, but Scorpio was right there. C. No wait. 3. One bullet blew up all those petrol tanks? Lastly, after all that petty squabbling, Tara and Scorpio just part ways. You know what the weirdest thing about this whole ordeal is? I'm getting strangely attached to Scorpio and Tara. They aren't really characterized, which I suppose lets the audience apply their own interpretation to them. For example, I noticed that wherever Hopper and Thornton go, Tara and Scorpio are never far behind. Are they somehow spiritually attached? Are Scorpio and Tara related to them in some way through something like reincarnation? Is their fight foreshadowing the betrayal that we see? The only time one of them actually stops to watch Hopper and Thornton is at that crucial moment. All the other times they're just walking by the action. Or maybe they're just a bunch of bugs and I'm reading way too deeply into this game to justify the £3 I spent on it. Yes, I am.
So that's Deadly Creatures. Most scary games just throw things at you, but I found Deadly Creatures much scarier because of the atmosphere, the realism. The fact there's fucking spiders everywhere. I was spooked. I was scared. And I was skeleton. Which is all I can ask for a game on Halloween. Just every time I blink, I just see them. Spiders. Everywhere. Now if you excuse me, I need to cleanse myself with a bath. Oh, jeez.
Previously on AMC's TomatoGhost.
Now if you excuse me, I need to cleanse myself with a bath. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I know exactly what to do with you. Play through it and give it a fair review. Here's a surprise. I love Aladdin. That's the plot of Return of Jafar. The scariest thing, for me, are spiders. Spiders!
You know, Claw, I really...
You don't think you're him? You probably couldn't tell. I love Aladdin and I love the Aladdin sequels. So when I found this in a secondhand game shop for 50p, I was intrigued. I'd never heard of it before, so I thought, what the hell? What's the worst that could happen? Nasira's Revenge released in 2001 for the PS1 and PC. While I am looking at the PC version, it's worth noting that both versions are identical. It was developed by Argonaut Games, who have an interesting resume. They range from the Croc games and Buck Bumble to The Emperor's New Groove and Catwoman? Weirdly enough, they helped develop the original Star Fox.
Wildcard, bitches!
This brings us to Nasira's Revenge. So after Jafar's death in The Return of Jafar, his sister Nasira, who we've never heard of before, has never been addressed or even hinted at and just came the hell out of nowhere, devises a plan to bring Jafar back from the dead and exact revenge on Aladdin and friends.
Well, who's this handsome customer?
What's going on? Ah! Leave me alone!
What's going on there?
Yep, no avoiding this. The graphics are pretty bad. No one's face moves, and everyone moves their hands around really erratically. So when characters sound distressed, but their faces don't change, it kind of kills the immersion. What little there was. A few cutscenes in, and seeing that Aladdin sleeps very uncomfortably, I am so glad they got most of the original voice actors back. The only ones they didn't get were the Sultan and Genie. And now it's time to play... Genie. On our hit game show, we spin the wheel to find out who will be voicing Genie today. Will it be A. Robin Williams, B. Dan Castellaneta, or C. Jim Meskimen? Take a chance now, give it a spin. Oh, Dan Castellaneta, come on down! And you know, I never really minded Dan Castellaneta as Genie. I felt he brought his own interpretation to the role. But here, he sounds more Homer Simpson-y than usual. How could you do this to me after all I've done for you? Oh! In fact, speaking of voices, Nasira sounds very familiar.
Spirits of darkness, hear my call. On this fateful night, I command the powers of evil. Heart of that world.
Yep, believe it or not, Jodie Benson, Ariel herself, is the voice of Nasira. And I can tell she's having a blast.
Oh yes. I think I'm going to enjoy my stay here.
I would sum up Nasira's Revenge as a 3D platformer with a strong focus on sword combat. It's very much a 3D version of the Sega Genesis Mega Drive Megasys version with the platforming and the sword fighting. It spans across a vast variety of Aladdin-based locations such as the streets of Agrabah, the Cave of Wonders, and the Oasis. So the game's opening level takes us through Agrabah as Aladdin fights his way through to the palace. Upon arriving, we meet the villain of the game, Nasira.
Where do you think you're going, street rat?
Rasul, you ain't looking so good.
I mean, it sounds like Rasul, but he doesn't look right. And one would think that, this being the first boss, he would be the easiest. No, he's the hardest. The sad thing is though, that doesn't really mean anything. All you have to do is dodge his attacks and hack him to pieces. And now permit me to be a big Aladdin fanboy because I freaked out when I saw the enemies in the Oasis stage. Recognize them? They're two of the 40 thieves from the third film.
When we drop by for cookies and tea.
The level ends with Aladdin traveling through a waterfall and winding up at the top of a mountain. What? And yes, the boss is a giant spider, of course.
Spider!
I used that already. Fucking spiders again. The next level begins with Abu and Aladdin tracking down the Cave of Wonders, which isn't too hard. Just follow the golden scarab, but don't go off the path.
That was my favorite part of the movie.
Now mark my words, the Cave of Wonders is fucking horrendous. It's at this point that the sloppy platforming really comes back to bite you in the ass. I realise that it's bloody hard to tell where you're going to land, which makes long stretches of platforms finicky. You also have to deal with time platforms and, trust me, you have to be really fast on these. I lost count of how many times I jumped only to see the platform disappear from below me. After dying many times, Aladdin finally makes it to Genie.
Abu, go into the small chamber and see if you could find something that'll set Genie and Carpet free.
I just love how Abu stops at the last second just to contemplate what he's about to do. After the hell Aladdin went through, I don't blame him. This level is actually much nicer than the previous schlock, but you have to make sure that you pick up all the map pieces. If you miss one and reach the end, okay, nothing happens, but you have to track back through the entire level. At least it's mercifully short. File this one under Breather level.
Way to go, Abu! Now let's try to release Genie and Carpet.
Free at last! Oh, small spaces like that give you such a crick in the neck.
You son of a bitch. Also, remember that thing Abu did in the film that the cave told him not to do?
Touch nothing, or you will never see the light of day.
Abu! I told you not to touch anything!
Memory of a fucking goldfish.
See? No juice.
So now Aladdin and co have to escape the Cave of Wonders. And you know how they're gonna do that? Well, remember the incredibly hard level from the Super Nintendo game? Yeah, imagine that in 3D with fucking awful controls. Eventually they escape the cave and are confronted by a fortune teller.
Come on, guys! We got a pyramid to find.
Actually, Aladdin, your debt to me is already paid.
I should be shocked by that twist, but what's going through my mind is, when Genie's in that pot, he looks like when Patrick got stuck in that trombone. The gang travels to the pyramids in order to find Jasmine. You know, those Arabian pyramids.
So let's start this level.
Alas, that isn't it. Turns out that, rather than follow a linear chapter structure like the other levels do, the first level of the pyramid acts more like a hub world where you can access the 3 other levels in any order you choose. The pyramid levels are okay. They have a stronger focus on puzzles with less enemies, like this block puzzle for example, which, to be honest, I couldn't have done without a guide. However, what the guide didn't prepare me for was this. What the fuck? Well, that was unexpected. Out of nowhere, we get a Mario 64-like moment, and now Aladdin is surfing on Genie. No context, no mention, no point. So Aladdin tracks down Jasmine and has to fight against a giant statue of Anubis in an insultingly pissy fight. The only way Anubis himself can attack you is if you stay too far away from him. Stay up close, break his barrier, and get him. About as embarrassing as this, Anubis. With Jasmine free, we finally get a level dedicated to her. Now, if other games are anything to go by, she'll be kicking ass. Or hiding in a pot. Suddenly I'm getting flashbacks from Wind Waker and Metal Gear. Oh boy, did I have a hard time with this level. Once again, the jumping ruined it even more than usual. It feels like the pot really weighs down Jasmine and she plummets instantly before making the jump, meaning that you have to tackle each jump at an angle. Now, the main gimmick of this level is ducking into the pot when guards are around. What doesn't help is that they catch you if they walk into you. I can't tell where they're going to go, so there's that horrific moment of dread when they slowly approach you, knowing that you're doomed.
And stay out!
But at least the guards are good at their jobs. Good for them. And with that level out the way, I can finally rest easy.
You've only got a short time to get out of here before the magic door closes, Al. Run! Jesus Christ!
You heard the man. This level is a mad dash to the exit, so there's no time to prepare for any bullshit platforming. Doesn't help when Stalfos pop out the ground. And then there's this guy. Poor bastard's trying his best.
I'll get you, human.
I don't think you're trying hard enough.
Quiet, Sans.
I don't even mind this level too much. It's at this point I learned that it's much easier to run and jump onto platforms rather than stop and consider them. After the mad dash, Aladdin stretches through the portal and we arrive in the ancient city. What ancient city?
Look at the keys, look at the keys, look at the keys.
Believe it or not, the ancient city is my favorite level. Yes, amazingly, I have a favorite level. More so the inside, but the outside has a nice idea behind it.
These Kali statues aren't all they seem. Just don't push them too far, okay?
Oh, I'm gonna push them. I shouldn't have pushed them. I think the reason I like the inside of the ancient city is because it reminds me of some other games. There are a ton of block puzzles that remind me of the Forest Temple from Ocarina of Time, as well as an organ puzzle identical to Banjo-Kazooie. Less bullshit this time. I mean, there's bullshit like this. And this heartbreaking moment. I did it! I'm almost at the end of the level. I beat all those puzzles, got everything. Yeah, I'm almost there.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But you know, less bullshit. And after another organ puzzle, we fight the boss in order to save the Sultan. Who's the boss?
You know the evil Sultan!
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, the evil Sultan. Never heard of him, nor what he is Sultan of, nor why he actually uses the title Evil Sultan. Nor why he's a fucking pushover. Yeah, he didn't land a single hit on me. Fucking great boss. After defeating the evil Sultan, total screen time about 30 seconds, Aladdin finally reaches Nasira's lair. The poor bastard doesn't realize the absolute weapon-grade, horrendous, difficult bullshit he's about to get himself into. Nasira's lair is somehow worse than the Cave of Wonders. I didn't even think that was possible. On one hand, the fact that you fall into lava rather than pits is a blessing since it's not instant death. There are times I'm fed up with a jump, so I just skim across the lava instead. I probably shouldn't, but hey, I can't argue with results. On the other hand, the jumps in this level are incredibly awkward. Literally, the very first jump in this level is this mess. The only way I made it over was because I was being chased by a snake. Again, building up momentum then jumping is more effective, albeit more terrifying. It's hard to convey how frustrating this is, but let me tell you, it took over 20 attempts over the span of 3 days to beat this level. That's why this review took so long. The problem is I don't know if I can blame my skill or the game. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. One good thing is that the music is pretty effective. It's a dark reprise of Prince Ali from the first film, which, of course, Jafar used against Aladdin. See? Effort did go into this game. The second level is a bit better. Again, I was getting frustrated, but most enemies can be dodged, and it's all a matter of jumping.
This is the whole enchilada right here, pal. All of your skill is gonna be put to the test.
Here's a tip. Don't bother with this. All I did was fall and scramble onto the center. Why? Because there are platforms leading from the center up to the exit. Thank you, kind developers. So now we finally reached the final showdown against Nasira and Jafar's head in a hole? Oh, you wanted an actual showdown with Jafar? Oh, too bad. The worst thing about this is that it's the easiest boss in the game. Here's how it works. Nasira will fly around Jafar and every now and then will throw a MacGuffin to boost his health until he starts fighting. Here's the thing. When Nasira prepares to throw a MacGuffin, you can throw a knife at her and she'll drop it. Do this 4 times and she'll bugger off, leaving Jafar to fight you. With no health. Fucking seriously, the final boss has no fucking health. One knife to the face and BAM! Straight down the toilet. Game over. So here's what I did. I let Jafar get to full health, so maybe it will pose an actual threat. And you know what? It was actually a decent and challenging fight worthy of a final boss. I had to actively make the game harder on myself for any kind of legitimate challenge. Also, I fear that all the games I play are going to have anticlimactic endings. I mean, here's the ending of Nasira's Revenge.
Oh, thank you, Aladdin. Oh, once again, Agrabah is safe because of you. The entire city is in your debt.
Give deadly creatures some credit, at least the ending was fucking spectacular. Here, the Sultan just says, "You did the thing!" And then Aladdin and Jasmine shove their frozen faces into each other. Fuck this game. On the surface, it seems like a simple 3D platformer game based on a great film. But darkness lies beneath. If you want an actual fun 3D Aladdin game, play Disney Infinity. I know it costs an arm and a leg to buy the game and all the extra stuff, but gameplay-wise, it's a much more refined version of Nasira's Revenge. I bet you can make a level from it in Disney Infinity. You know what? In fact, you know what? Hang on a minute. There we go. I remade the whole first level of Nasira's Revenge in Disney Infinity. Get dunked on. As you can see, I am in the full spirit of Christmas. The tree, the fire, the decorations, the snow! Oh. Well. Still made a snowman. And I'm here to look at 10 games you should play over the Christmas season. Whether it be based on nostalgia or atmosphere, there are plenty of games to get through, so let's do this. I don't know where I'm going with this. Number 10! Starting off this list with a forgotten gem. The Mario and Sonic series has certainly zigzagged in quality with each new iteration. However, I feel it hit its peak with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. Rolls right off the tongue. Why this game lands on my list is because, just look at it. Snow is everywhere with all the sports taking place in Vancouver. But except the dream events, but at least they keep the snow, you know, snow. What adds to this is the village where the in-game shop takes place. Just look at it. It's gorgeous. The snow, the atmosphere, the lighting, the music. If this place doesn't put you in the spirit of Christmas, nothing will. Hell, if you play it on Christmas, you can even find Santa Claus. Also, the sight of Waluigi doing this is delightful. If that isn't the spirit of Christmas, I don't know what is. Number 9! When I think about a game console that sums up Christmas, I think of the Wii. It might be weird to say, but it was a massive seller when it first came out, with it being out of stock nationwide one Christmas. And this was the first game console to really break through into the, casual market, and be accepted by people who don't really know the first thing about games. So, what was the game that launched this marvel? Wii Sports. Might be an odd choice, but I distinctly remember Christmas with Wii Sports the year the Wii launched. And I have to give it credit for the impact it had on families around the world. Everyone was playing Wii Sports. Any game that makes Grandma do this is one worth remembering. The fact that it isn't really that Christmassy puts it low on the list, but the impact it made around the holiday season is what gets it on here in the first place. Go get 'em, Granny! Number 8. Now it's all well and good having games to play with 3 other people, but what if there's more? Well, don't worry, because we have Nintendo Land. And Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Yes, it's a draw. Both are brilliant multiplayer Wii U games that allow for over 4 players to join in. Nintendo Land offers 5, with Smash Bros. Offering up to 8 players locally. Perfect for a big gathering of family and friends. People might suggest Mario Kart as a stronger party game, which we may or may not see later on this list. But me and my friends put significantly more time into Smash Bros. Than we ever did with Mario Kart, with a massive roster of beloved game characters that anyone can recognize. Nintendo Land serves as a game that anyone can pick up and play, as well as just being pure fun. Both games are accessible to any Nintendo fan, from the most hardcore to the tiniest. Get some friends together and settle it in Smash! Or Nintendo Land. I guess, you know, that. Number 7. So what if Mario and Sonic wasn't enough for you and you still want some more winter sports? There's always ski free. Well, except for that. So what better choice than Snowboard Kids? Considering that snow is literally in the name, I have no idea. Snowboard Kids is just everything you could want around Christmas. Snowboard Kids manages to capture a childlike vision with kids wrapped up in coats and hats and just playing in the snow. Well, there are a variety of snow-based courses you can go down, and the way each lap ends sees a racer riding a ski lift to get... Sure, the series has gotten weird recently. By recently, I mean 2006. But this one had a ninja. We need a Christmas ninja, right? Right? Why the hell was this even on the list? Number 6! This was supposed to be How the Saints Saved Christmas. But I couldn't record footage. See, it's Christmas. Yeah. Number 5! This entry isn't necessarily about the game itself, it's more about what this game means to me, as I'm sure you'll have a game you feel the same way about. The game in question is Mario Kart Double Dash. Sure, it's a great 4-player party game, but that's not why I've included it. Mario Kart Double Dash was the first game I received with my first console, the GameCube. I still remember opening up my GameCube Christmas 2003 along with these games. But Mario Kart was the first I played and I still love it to death. Mario Kart is always a great game to pick up if you want to gather family and friends together and have a rage-inducing blast. My sentimental bias aside, I still think Double Dash is the best of the series as it's the most insane with giant items flying all around and 16 characters involved. Great roster, great tracks, great music, and all around great fun. You never forget your first console and I still cherish mine to this day. Mario Kart Double Dash, to me, is an example of sentiment incarnate.
Number 4.
Wow, after number 5 being a racing game, I wonder what other genres I'll look at. Oh. Yeah, well. You're probably thinking, how does Diddy Kong Racing, a game set on a tropical island, make for a great Christmas game? Well, just look at the tracks in Snowflake Mountain. That name alone sets the tone perfectly. Candy canes for poles, trees decorated in lights, snow coating the entire track from start to finish, and even the boss is a walrus. A walrus with a bow tie. Except for Snowball Valley, all the levels take place at night, so you have a giant moon and the snow stands up against the background and it's just wonderful! Who would have thought that a game with tracks coated in lava would be perfect for Christmas?
Number 3.
One of the joys of the season is wrapping up nice and warm in front of a fire. But... fire! So if you wish to enjoy watching a nice fireplace on one of these Christmas nights, then Little Inferno is right up your alley. Or chimney, I guess. Little Inferno can be best summed up as a fireplace simulator that lets you set fire to random things and see how they react. It might sound bizarre, but I play it every year. Something about playing this game on a laptop wrapped up in bed, it makes me feel as warm as an actual fireplace. It does help that the kind of plot plunges you into a snowy setting. Sure, it looks dark and almost Jonan Vasquez-like, but the main gameplay itself is where the festive feelings lie. Plus, you can be sadistic like me and create scenarios. Alright men, the Pirate King is hiding in his fortress. Torch it!
Number 2.
So what happens if you're alone on Christmas but you want to get that joyful feeling? Well, look no further than Animal Crossing. It's kind of a given that a life simulator that covers every day of the year would include Christmas, and yes, it is brilliant. As proven earlier, I don't get snow and haven't seen it for years in fact, so when a game lets me live out my snowman making fantasies, with snowmen having a go at me, this definitely stands out as a game for Christmas. There is just so much to do around the holidays, such as visit all your neighbors you abandoned years ago, bask in the Christmas lights decorated around town, or wait for Jingle to arrive. Just like real life, your neighbors will talk about it and build you up and get you excited for the big day, and then when it does, there's a reindeer dressed as Santa Claus. He gives you presents. What more can you ask for? Well, except for getting rid of weeds and roaches, but that's probably more my fault. When did I play this game last? Oh, that long. Yeah, okay. Merry Christmas.
Number 1.
And number 1 brings us to a game I've mentioned on my previous top 10, Banjo-Kazooie. What might be possibly my favourite game, I naturally gravitate towards it, and especially around Christmas, for good reason. The amount of memories I have about this game is astronomical. I've already dubbed Freeze Easy Peak as the quintessential snow level, so that's a pretty good reason to have this game on the list. How do you not get that festive feeling walking up a giant snowman scarf, chilling out with a walrus in a cave, flying around the starry night sky, lighting up and climbing on a giant Christmas tree? Just Christmas. Christmas? Christmas. Also, the last level, Click Clock Wood, ends on winter, and it's nice to make the effort to see characters relaxing during the holiday. Mumbo is away on vacation, you hairy fool, come back in spring? You take that back! The fact that it's the last level adds a great deal of closure and the sense of finality which, with Christmas marking the end of the year, seems pretty darn fitting to me. Christmas, Christmas, and more Christmas. Well, that's the list. I hope it helped you pick out some games to play this holiday season. Or you just joined me in reminiscing about games from childhood. So, I bid thee a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you all next year. For another bloomin' Christmas.